Hi there and welcome back to 5 Valley Cycles. Today I'm just reviewing this wax melting pot that I found on AliExpress that can be used for doing your chain waxing. So I know a lot of people when they start waxing their chains, they either buy like a crock pot or a slow cooker, which is usually sort of 20-30 quid. But the problem with those is that you don't have a temperature gauge on them, so you don't know exactly what temperature they're at. They also heat up and then cool down, so there's no sort of consistent temperature as to what they're sort of set to, which is not ideal for waxing chains, because you really want that precise temperature for when you're waxing the chain. So the alternative that people do is obviously they go out and buy one of the the specific waxing pots that the chain waxing brands have come up with. So the like the Silca ultimate chain waxing system, or there's other brands that do similar sort of pots where they have the hanging bit and you can hang your chain and you've got the consistent temperature and the gauge which shows what temperature it's at. But these are often sort of 100 quid or more, which is a lot of money to sort of invest in chain waxing if you're new to it, or you're not doing it all the time. So I looked into it and I found one of these generic wax heater pots that I think they're usually sort of used for hair removal, like wax strips. I'm not really sure, where they heat up the wax and use it to remove hair. But it does a similar sort of thing. So it's got the digital temperature gauge, goes up to 120. And you can dial it down to 75, which is, if you're using Silca, then you want the optimal temperature to be at 75 when you're waxing the chain. It's got you can obviously put the wax in the pot, and it takes about half an hour to melt it. Now this one comes with a EU plug socket. Obviously, if you're in the UK, which I am, I just cut off the plug and bought a new UK plug for £1 and just fitted that. That's absolutely fine. Or obviously, you can use a travel adapter plug socket if you buy one with a EU plug. Just get one of your EU travel adapter sockets. So yeah, it took about half an hour to heat it up. If you're using a strip chip, then you want it to be 120. It says 125 on the Silca website instructions, I think, if you're using a strip chip when you first get your chain. But I'd imagine 120 is probably enough. And then you want to drop it back down to 75 when you actually put the chain in and you start the sort of waxing process. So yeah, what's the main differences between these and the sort of the Silca pots or the other sort of branded ones, which are obviously really good, and they're designed specifically to be used for the purpose of waxing chains. So those ones, they come with sort of rails above, so you can hang your chain up. They come with a little wire, so you can wrap it around your chain when you dunk it in, and then you can pull it out and you can hang it up. So that's obviously, those are sort of main differences, and they're really good, good quality products. But if you're looking for a sort of a cheaper solution, then this does a similar sort of job. So instead of using the specific wire that the Silca pots come with, I just use a gear wire, like a gear cable wire. Put that round. You can dip the chain in, and I just hang it above the pot when I take it out, to let it sort of all the wax drip off. Not much wax really drips off, to be honest, but just in case there is any drippage, you don't want to waste any of it because it's quite expensive stuff. So yeah, you can buy this on AliExpress. It took about 7 days to arrive here in the UK. It was £15 including delivery, so compared to sort of £100, it's quite a good deal, I think. So yeah, I'll put a link in the description below as to where you can buy it, because there's loads of stuff on AliExpress, but this link will take you to the exact one that I bought, which has the digital display and the dial, so you can tweak it to the exact temperature you want. Oh yeah, the other main sort of difference is this one's a 500 milliliter pot as opposed to 600 milliliters for the Silca one, so it's slightly smaller. I don't think it's a problem. I managed to still get my 11 speed chain in there. It's fine. So yeah, that's it. If you've got any questions or you want to know any more details about chain waxing or the pot, then leave a comment or send me a message and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks for watching.